Hi everyone, State Representative Afton Bain. I wanted to record this video to provide an update on Winter Storm Fern and what I plan to do to mitigate the risk of this happening again. This fucking sucks, to be frank. I am appalled at the response. It is unacceptable, uncalled for, that tens of thousands of families in Middle Tennessee have gone without power for 5 days. I have a family of 4 with 2 kids under the age of 2 living in my living room, and this cannot happen again. So before I jump in as to how what I plan to do to ameliorate the situation, a lot of misinformation and disinformation floating around, but what is true is that the Governor Lee has requested an expedited major disaster declaration, and if approved, it would unlock real federal aid for individuals and households in 23 counties, including Davidson. Right now, the emergency declarations all have to do with expediting decision-making amongst municipalities, state, and federal government, and the support for those entities rather than for individuals. But I also want to talk about why this happened. This response is a result of choices about money and priorities, and a lack of political imagination to adapt to a changing climate, of which these storms are going to be more ubiquitous. They just will be. So at the utility level, it is true that NES has cut full-time positions and relied more on temporary and emergency labor instead of maintaining permanent union-trained line workers that can respond quickly and en masse. So it saves money, and they don't want to increase cost for the consumer, right? But it's a choice. It's a choice. At the state and local level, we have adopted policies that are reactive rather than proactive. And there's always not enough money, but there's money for vouchers. There's money to give $2 billion to the most profitable multinational corporations in the world. And we have a rainy day fund, and it should be used for this purpose. But we need dedicated funding streams to ensure that not only Nashvillians and Tennesseans are taken care of when emergencies hit, but also dedicated funding streams to ensure that the poles and the electrical wiring can go underground, which is the only way to ensure that this doesn't happen again. So what I plan to do in the Tennessee legislative session, I'm going to introduce I'm still trying to figure out what it's called, but Keep the Lights On Act. We'll provide a dedicated revenue stream by taxing big tech to rebuild a full-time union utility workforce and bury and harden power lines in high-risk areas and make the biggest beneficiaries of our grid help pay for its resilience. So once again, this is a policy choice. It's a policy failure. I'm sorry on behalf of decades of intransigence and lack of political imagination and the will to actually make lives better for you. And I promise to keep pushing and promise to be honest with you all.